So hello everyone and welcome to the second edition of the Galaxy89 podcast. Today I'm joined by Daryl from EVhire. Thank you for deciding to take part in the podcast.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So you own and operate the company EVhire.
Yes.
So it's vehicle hire, but we'll get into that in more detail a bit later. But going sort of back into a bit about where sort of your history is, have you always been in the car industry?
No, only until very recently actually. I mean, the company is only going over a year old now.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I was in recruitment. I run a recruitment agency in the construction industry. And then after that, we did property development. That kept me busy for a few years before we then got into exotic vehicle hire.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we are today.
So where did the transition sort of, what made you think, okay, I want to start there?
We all started off with Tesla, actually,
Mm-hmm.
was really the main reason. I had a real passion for electric cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I could really see we're in a transition at the moment in the world
Mm-hmm.
where EVs, electric vehicles, are going to be the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had a real passion for Tesla, and I really wanted to share that with as many people as I possibly could. In a commercial sense, make it worthwhile doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really how we got into it. We started off with electric. We got two P100Ds, and we haven't looked back from that point.
So how have you found that? I mean, obviously, you started it purely because electric cars and Tesla in particular were your interest, were your passion.
Yeah.
So how have you found the experience of sort of running and operating, firstly, a hire car company, and secondly, specifically, well, initially, an electric vehicle hire company?
Well, it's been great, actually. From the outset, we were really sort of, and we still are, riding this wave of curiosity. There's a whole ream of people in this country that we deal with who want to experience electric vehicles, want to see what it's all about. And all of our customers have been great, actually. I mean, the majority of our customers on the electric division, they all tend to be people who are thinking about buying one, and they really want to.
So prospective customers.
Yeah, mostly, and they don't want a 20-minute test drive. They want to take it home, charge it up, see how far they can get on the charge, experience the supercharger network, and take it for a weekend or a week and see how it fits in with their life.
Yeah.
And the majority of them end up buying one because they're that convinced by it. So that's been great.
I suppose that makes sense in a way, because obviously owning an electric car is a completely different proposition in terms of the charging of it, where you can charge it at the moment, charging times. So it makes sense that prospective customers would want that experience.
Yeah, and in my opinion, at the moment, Tesla lead the way with that. They have the infrastructure for it, so it ties them off. A lot of our customers also they hire it for road trips. So as well as being curious about them and potentially putting a deposit down on one, they want to see how far they can go. So a lot of them, because we have unlimited mileage on all the cars, they take them up to the Lake District, Scotland, Glasgow, and it doesn't cost them anything in fuel. So it's a good experience for them to go as far as they want, charge them on route, experience the supercharger network.
So they're charging through that network, it's all free?
Free, yeah. It's free on our cars, and I believe Tesla have now changed it, so it is still lifetime supercharging if you buy new, I believe. When the Model 3 comes out, I believe there's going to be a tariff. It's not going to be unlimited free, but it's a lot of fun driving these cars. We only do the performance ones, so we don't offer the standard Teslas. All of ours are P100D Ludicrous Plus variants, so giving our customers the opportunity to experience almost, on the Model S, Bugatti Veyron acceleration with all the kids in the back, not just a two-seater. It's been great. The response has been, I mean, we don't need to do much. Tesla do all the hard work. They made the car. We just share it with people.
And you feel that, so how long have you had the car? So you have a Model X, P100 Ludicrous, and Model S, the same spec, and you've had those for around a year?
Yeah, so we bought them back in April 2017, so over a year now.
And they've, in terms of running costs, reliability, how's that been?
Really good. I mean, Tesla get a lot of bad press.
I've seen that quite a lot, mainly with crashing and people not understanding the true nature of autopilot, it seems.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, with all those bad news stories, it's always driver error, in my opinion. I mean, you can be stupid in any car if you want to crash it.
That's very true.
But no, the Teslas, they've been great. I can't fault them personally. Mm-hmm. I'm still a big fan of them. I like the way the company's going, personally. Mm-hmm. And I think really what they've done is change the whole industry. From Elon's main vision, you'll see all the other manufacturers now following suit. Mm-hmm. So really what they've achieved is remarkable, really, in changing the future of the auto industry.
Yeah, and they haven't been going that long, really, have they? And they made massive steps from the initial Roadster to the Model S and Model X. It was
huge steps.
Yeah, massive.
I think when the Model 3 starts hitting the roads, they'll be everywhere. Mm-hmm. They will be absolutely everywhere.
Could customers potentially see a Model 3 or a Tesla Roadster coming to EVhire?
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially.
Watch this space.
Okay. I hope everyone will watch this space. That's
stay tuned for updates.
Right, so obviously you started off. Actually, we'll go back and we'll stay on this. So, could any other electric vehicle company, like Fisker, for example, could they tempt you, or Eon? I mean, that's a fairly insane car, but
yeah, I think we have to draw the line with sort of what's sensible mm-hmm. as a rental, what's affordable, and what people are willing to pay to hire it. Some of these, Rimac, for example.
Oh yeah, of course. How could I forget?
Yeah, you're talking a lot of money. I'm not sure the market's there for that quite yet.
No.
Commercially for us, we chose Tesla. Purely because it's industry leading in terms of range and performance. So there's some fantastic other electric cars out there. Nissan Leafs, for example. But because we want to stay in the performance luxury car segment, offering Nissan Leafs doesn't really fit with our brand as such. And neither does standard Teslas. We only want to do performance Teslas. That's our vision, really. Is always have the top end of every vehicle that we can offer. I think that's good for all our potential customers, getting to experience the very best that these manufacturers can offer. And that's kind of where we came from. Is okay, we could run a fleet of standard Teslas, non-performance Teslas, but I think customers would always want to experience what the very best there is to experience. So that's why we went down that route.
I mean, what are we talking about with the Model S and the Model X in terms of acceleration? It's like 2.9 or something with the Model S.
So the Model X P100, because they all come with Ludicrous Plus upgrades on our fleet. The Model X is 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, which is crazy. When you consider it's a 6-seater, weighs nearly 3 tons, and it can do that sort of.
There's a behemoth, and it's like fast as
it's
F12 or something. Yeah,
and it can accelerate like that. It's remarkable, and that's half the fun with these things. And we encourage our customers to experience ludicrous mode. They must try it. The Model S, I think that does, depending on where you read, I think someone managed to get 2.28 seconds out of the Ludicrous Plus, which is, it's Bugatti Veyron territory now.
Yeah, definitely.
So that again is an experience that we actively encourage.
Well, it's either reassuring that you have had a good customer base, because your cars obviously haven't been wrecked. So if they have been using Ludicrous and your cars are unscathed, that's reassuring. Or people are just maybe shying away from it. Hopefully, maybe it's the first one.
Some don't, actually. Interestingly, a lot of our customers, because there's a chill mode option,
right?
And a lot of them are sensible people. as much as we encourage them to try Ludicrous Plus, often they just pop it and chill, and they enjoy the sort of serenity of it, especially in the Model X.
Yeah.
You've got a screen a windscreen which goes all the way over your head, and actually sometimes it's nice just to serenely drive around in silence. It's quite
well, yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? It's completely, maybe other than a very subtle hum or something.
Yeah.
Probably.
So if you're doing a gentle, nice drive through the countryside somewhere, popping it in Ludicrous Plus all the time will maybe take it out of you a bit. You want to actually keep it in chill, and relax a bit, enjoy the ride. The other thing that I always find interesting is people don't like the autopilot. Most of our customers don't like to try it. They try it once or twice. But
why do you think that is?
I think they're nervous of it.
Yeah. I think it's really misunderstood.
It's misunderstood, I think. I mean, motorways, it's fantastic. Keep your hands on the wheel, and you're always in control. And I think it's great.
It's basically just an advanced cruise control at this point, isn't it? In some ways,
yeah. You can change lanes. It's like an active cruise control system. But I think it's pretty good to experience. But a lot of our customers don't want to know, which is interesting. So whether the world's not ready for that yet is yet to be seen. Well,
I've heard that Tesla are going to start testing like a proper autonomous driving system soon. They're going to try to drive from New York to LA.
I saw that,
Yeah, so that will be interesting to see what happens with that.
No driver.
Yeah.
No, that will be interesting.
Yeah.
I think the roads in the US are probably far more suited to that kind of driving.
Yeah, quite wide, aren't they?
Yeah, over here, I'm not sure. But I think it'll happen. I do see that. I do see it going that way. There is a lot of work to do, and there's a lot more testing to go through. When, I don't know. My guess would be maybe, well, certainly in the next sort of 15 to 20 years, I think we'll see it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think it'll
so as well.
By that point, I think you'll see it everywhere. But no, it's constantly updating as well. That's the other thing with these Teslas is they're getting better. You don't have to buy a new model all the time. They update over the air. So
I have heard about that. That's Tesla owners. There's a new update in, and they can sort of just like you're updating your mobile phone or something. So, from someone who owns two, what does that actually mean from a usability standpoint?
Well, it means it always gets better.
In what way exactly?
So, for example, there's a new update just about to be pushed out, which is a whole new navigation system, more efficient, faster loading, things like improved user interface. Things like that. There's always improvements. There's improvements to the autopilot because they all learn from each other. So every road that any Tesla ever drives on is constantly learning.
Really?
And it's using that data to then send back to Tesla HQ. They then learn from it and then push out the relevant or necessary updates to all the Teslas. So it's always improving, especially with the latest Autopilot 2.0. It's a constantly improving thing. So it's
that must be reassuring in a way because I don't think any other car manufacturer has that kind of process inbuilt where you know that you're going to be getting improvements to your car's setup sort of over the air. Like that's pretty just Tesla, isn't it?
Performance improvements as well. So they recently on the non-performance cars. I was aware of an update where they changed the algorithm in the motor or however they did it. I'm not sure the technical terms, but they improved the performance, the acceleration of the car.
Just through a software update?
Through an over-the-air update.
Wow.
Which is great.
And you don't have to pay anything for those? They're free?
All free. Comes with it. You can either update it over 3G, which comes in the car, or if you bring it home, plug it into your... Not plug it in, but you connect it to your Wi-Fi network and just click update. Same as you would with a phone, with an iPhone. It's great. I mean, it's
you're getting a constantly improving vehicle for no extra cost.
That's right, yeah.
However, there's obviously some purists that kind of don't really believe in Tesla being a proper car brand. I mean, what do you feel about that?
I think that couldn't be further from the truth, actually. I think they are one of the most disruptive car brands we've ever seen. what they're doing to the whole industry, well, you've only got to look at what the rest are doing.
Yeah.
Just from what, and I believe Tesla had they open sourced all their patents. I believe. Don't quote me on that. But you'll see all the other manufacturers now offering an electric alternative, and I don't think that would have happened without Tesla on the scale that it is happening. If you go back, I don't remember the dates, but I remember reading somewhere about I think the General Motors, they brought out an EV back in the 80s, and it was scrapped, and they pulled back all the cars and scrapped them entirely, and they were 100% EVs because the powers that be didn't want that going the way it was going to go, which is unbelievable, really, to read.
Yeah, it is. I suppose we're at a level now where we can't really sort of fight that anymore.
It's gone too far now, where it's been proven that an electric vehicle doesn't have to be a milk float. It's been proven that you can outperform combustion cars.
But in terms of, as a caveat to this, I'm pro EV cars.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say, yeah, they've got the straight line performance, but is it a true driving experience? So, for example, if you compared the new Roadster that's coming out, if you compared that to like a 458 Speciale, maybe they'd have, obviously the Roadster is going to be far superior, but will it be as involving? Will it
give you the experience?
Yeah.
I mean, I love EVs. I love Lamborghini Huracans. No, I'm up for all of it.
Okay.
I'm not particularly biased towards one or the other. What you don't get in EVs is that it's the sound, really, where it comes from. When you're driving a Lamborghini Huracan and you're flooring it, the sound you get from it is like nothing else. You don't get that with EVs. What you get from EVs is something completely different. It's almost, I think the closest thing I can describe it to, on the performance ones, that is, I can't speak for the Nissan Leafs of the world, but on the performance electric vehicles, it's a thrill like a roller coaster, like Space Mountain at Disney or wherever. That is an experience which is very different to the old V8s, V10s that we all love, but it's still an experience which has an experience all of its own, which I love.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think fuel costs come into it as well quite a bit, and what you save on fuel, it starts to begin to make sense.
Yeah, it must be massive when you come to the performance Teslas and something, when you're comparing it to what would be a comparison like a Panamera Turbo, for example, something like that. Or
if you're
it must be huge.
£100 a week in fuel over 5-6 years, it starts to add up quite substantially. And if you're getting better performance out of an electric car, it starts to make sense. It really does. Not saying that I want it to go purely electric. I love V10 Huracans, big fan of those, Lamborghini, Ferrari, all of those cars. They're all going to offer their own electric car eventually. I just think it's the way it's going to go. I think we all need to get used to it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think that's an interesting point, that we can't keep looking at combustion engine cars as being the kind of gold standard necessarily. It's just a difference. There's a different experience, and that's the way we need to look at it. And, but interesting kind of segue talking about Lamborghinis, because obviously you started off as electric vehicle hire, and now you've gone more into exotic vehicle hire, and you actually have added a new car to your fleet. So if you would like to sort of talk about that.
Yeah, so we diversified this year. We were purely electric. That was our main vision. We still have very much a strong electric division, but we've diversified into other cars now. So the first acquisition we made into our performance division is a Lamborghini Huracan LP610-4. Fantastic car.
Yeah.
I'm not going to big it up too much on here, but it's...
I'll put some images over on top so people can get a kind of sense of what it is.
It's a great car.
Yeah.
It's I think it's one of the last naturally aspirated V10s made. Great car, and that's available for hire for anyone listening.
Quick plug for this.
Shameless plug. But yeah, so we've got a performance division, and in that division we're going to have the usual. So Audi R8s, we're going to get Ferrari 458, 488s, those types of vehicles, all combustion, all raw power cars. We then got a prestige division, which we've launched later on in the year. There we're going to have your Rolls Royces, Race, Dawns, Bentleys, things like that. The other division we've got is a 4x4 division. What we've got plans for there is the likes of G63s, AMGs.
I love G63s.
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan. Maybe that makes me a huge yokel or something. But I really like them.
They're popular cars. Well, they're cool cars. And the Lamborghini Urus is something we've got our eyes on.
Really?
Which I think will be a popular car. From what I haven't seen one in the flesh yet, but from what I've seen from online, I think that's going to be quite a popular car, and you'll certainly see that around London quite a bit.
I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
And I imagine you're probably one of the first people, if you get one into your high division, to be the first companies to probably have one.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's what we're planning. But they're the four divisions, so we've got electric, performance, prestige, and 4x4.
So you're really sort of...
one of everything, but the top end of everything. So that's how we want, same as we did with our electric division, we're not going to offer the standard of any particular genre. Always offer the best. That's kind of
what kind of higher packages would people be able to come and sort of look at?
So you can hire, well, it's minimum 2 days. For the moment, that may change, but we're looking at minimum 2 day hire for any vehicle. We do weekend packages, and if you're having it for more than 4 days, then there's discounted rates there as well. What we offer as a company is sort of ease of booking. Mainly, it's that service of, we don't have any contact us forms or any fill out this form, we'll come back to you. On our site, something we're quite proud of is you can see the car that you want, see all the photos, see a full description of it, see the live availability of it, and book it there and then.
Really?
Book it there and then. Create yourself an online account, upload all your documentation, so your driver license, passport, DVLA check codes, all the things that you would typically need, and it's all approved within minutes.
So it's all approved online?
All online.
So I mean, I've used a couple of hire companies in the past, and that massively speeds up the process. I haven't seen any others that kind of do that. So
we're quite proud of it.
Yeah.
We put a lot of work into it. I'd say it's for sort of the boutique hire companies like us. I think we're sort of industry leading in that sense with the booking process.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The only companies near to that is the big boys, the Avis of the world. Something we're proud of. It makes the whole process really simple. So you can book it all on your mobile. In fact, it's a mobile friendly.
Really? So you can do it from
interface. Okay. Upload your photos of your passport, your driving license. Once it's all approved, we deliver the car to you. So we arrive at your door with the key, and it's as easy as that.
And is it just UK, or can people in?
It's just
UK
for now.
Okay.
It's just UK for now. We do have plans to grow into the continent. That's probably going to be 2 or 3 years away yet.
Yeah.
We're still growing as a company. But no, it's been a really busy year so far.
And that includes Scotland and Wales.
Yeah, we go anywhere.
So the whole of the UK.
Yeah, so we do a free home delivery and collection service within 100 miles of our Croydon headquarters. Outside of that, we can deliver anywhere, but you'd have to come to us and we'd have to quote that accordingly.
Yeah.
But no, we can deliver anywhere.
Okay. Well, it definitely sounds like a very innovative approach. A lot of people are maybe trying to do, but maybe not putting off. So I imagine it's going to be very successful for you. If we just take a step back quickly, there's something I wanted to touch on before we finish. Obviously, you started off primarily with EV. I'm interested to kind of talk about, we touched on this briefly, but kind of where we can see EV cars going in the future. Because of course, it's really starting to ramp up now with the Mission, is it e-hybrid from Porsche, the I-Pace from Jaguar. All manufacturers eventually will have to become electric or hybrid as a mainstay because of the new government rulings that by 2040 no combustion engine car can be a production car basically. So I mean, where do you see things going in the electric car market?
Well, I see it going pretty much fully electric. I'm not sure hybrid is the solution.
Right. Why is that exactly?
I think when you have the technical ability of these, or the technology is there, where let me start again. Once the battery technology improves in such a way that you can get the range of, say, 600 miles out of the charge.
So what's the range at the moment? So let's say the Model S and the Model X.
I think the Model S it's about 300 miles.
Okay.
For a P100D, depends how you drive it, obviously, but typically, it's about 300 miles range, and that takes about from 0% to 100%. You're looking at about 45 minutes to an hour to charge it.
I imagine that would be a lot quicker than most people would probably think as well to charge it.
I think most people think it takes hours to charge. How am I going to get them? It really isn't.
No.
And rarely do you ever get to a supercharger on 0. You will arrive at a supercharger typically with still half the battery. So you're only there for 20 minutes by the time you're going to have a coffee, grab a sandwich, you're done. I still think that the battery technology is going to improve so much over the next 10 years or so that it will become even less of a problem. And I think that is why I believe hybrid, even though it exists now, I think that's going to be short-lived. I think it will go eventually full electric. I think Rolls-Royce came out and stated that they're going to skip the whole hybrid movement altogether, and go when the time is right, fully electric, which works really well for their type of car, where it's all about silence.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Nice, easy-going driving. It's almost the ideal solution.
Imagine a fully electric Phantom, like with 600 miles of range.
Yeah, and it's
and half an hour of charging or something.
Yeah, and I think where I'm not an expert on battery technology, but I've heard things about solid state batteries as a alternative battery type, where you can charge. Some people claim you can charge a battery in 20 minutes from 0 to full, or just 5 minutes even. I think I read the other day. But I think that's the way it's going to go. Is the technology will dictate that hybrids will be unnecessary, and even if it gets to the point in, say, 15, 20 years time, if you can do 1,000 miles on a charge that only takes you 5 minutes as you would to fill up a tank, if it gets to that point, which I can't see why it wouldn't at the rate at which the R&D is happening, and there's some clever people behind all these companies, I don't see why it won't happen.
So do you know much about the original Tesla Roadster? So like, what was the original range? Do you know the original range of that?
I'm not too sure on that, no.
So it'd be interesting to see where they've gone from that Roadster to where we are now.
Yeah. Whether Tesla will be leading the way in battery technology, I'm not sure. I know they built a gigafactory in the States, and they're investing heavily in it. I could see other companies, they're all going to be competing for the solution, for the battery solution. But I can totally see the whole hybrid movement being missed out.
Do you think that a lot of car companies would stick to electric power and battery power as a 100% power option for like their main production cars, but then they'd maybe have hybrid supercars, for example? Possibly,
yeah. I think Ferrari even came out and said they're looking at offering an electric car now. I'm sure I read that somewhere. Whether
that's a big claim for a brand like Ferrari.
Yeah, well, they were avidly against it not too long ago. I believe somebody. I read it somewhere that they will be producing an electric car. It was a Tesla destroyer, as they put it.
Of course.
So which would be great to see.
Yeah, fantastic. Whether it materialises and how long until it does materialise is a different thing.
That's the thing. Yeah. I think I can't see what I can't see is it reversing now. I can't see it going back to the old days and the electric movement dying off.
No,
I think it's pretty. I'm pretty convinced it's here to stay now. That's why we have our electric division. We're going to keep that going because that's going to be the future. And we're not going to just be Tesla. As soon as Porsche bring out their Mission E, we're trying to get hold of that. And if Ferrari do offer their electric version, we're trying to get hold of that as well. It's here to stay. Yeah. I'm pretty confident.
I think so as well, when you drive around and you see how many are kind of out there as well, and when all the sort of myths of charging times and range and all that kind of stuff are dispelled, I think a lot more people will jump on it as well, and I agree that probably is just a matter of time until that happens.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of money being spent against the electric movement. You've only got to read the papers. Tesla get it really badly. Yeah.
We see it whenever even there's a small incident or something happens, which is probably going to be driver error more than anything else. It's always everywhere.
So a Tesla somebody will crash a Tesla, usually for driver error, and it will set fire. And that'll make front page news. Whereas the same day, 1,000 cars, combustion engine cars in the States had crashed and burned into a ball of flames, but didn't get any press at all. So,
and actually on social media I saw that I won't go into it in too much detail to kind of protect the owners a little bit, but I saw 2 supercars had crashed in an event, and they were really written off. But there was no coverage of that kind of happening outside of social media.
Had it been a Tesla, it'd be front page everywhere. So there's definitely, you got to be careful what you read and see, and sort of see what the powers that be are trying to steer your influence. But they can try all they want, in my opinion. It's here to stay, and eventually it will change. 2040, I think I always hear a date banded around of the banning of any new combustion vehicle being produced. I know France have approved it. I don't know if the UK have it just yet, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah. And on that note, I think, which is a fairly positive note, I think, that we're thinking about the future and electric vehicles sort of taking over. I just want to say thank you, Daryl, for taking part in the podcast. Thank you all for watching. If you would like to see more, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I'll see you later.